Hello and welcome to another episode of Rappler Talk Entertainment. I'm lifestyle and entertainment reporter Juno Reyes, and today we're joined by none other than Cebuana singer-songwriter Jolianne. Hi, Jolianne! We're so happy to have you here. How are you feeling today?
Thank you so much for having me. This is my first time at Rappler,
Oh my
so
gosh.
I'm a little nervous, but thank you so much for having me.
Don't be nervous. This is going to be super casual. We're just
Okay.
going to be talking about, of course, how you got into singing. And so let's start with that. So to
Okay.
start things off, can you tell us how you got into singing in the first place?
My mom, she used to be a singer back
Oh,
in the
okay.
day. So ever since I was a little girl, she was kind of forcing that down my throat. But eventually I fell in love with it too.
Yeah.
And music is where I feel like I found my place as an artist. So that's what I'm focusing on right now, making music of my own. So yeah.
It's really nice that you were able to kind of fall in love with music gradually, even if you said that
Yes.
your mom kind of forced you. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of, you also started out as a contestant on The Voice Kids in 2015. So it's been around
Yes.
9 years since then. Yeah.
I'm getting old.
So what was the experience like? Parang why did you decide to join the competition?
It's funny, I actually joined because I had a crush on a contestant from the season before me. And there was a rumor that he would show up at the pre-audition. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna join my first singing contest because he might show up, but he never showed up. But I ended up making it. They called me back for the blind audition, so I guess I got that out of it.
Yeah, and like everything took off from there.
Yes.
So at least like you still got something out of it.
I guess I did.
Yeah. And you officially began releasing your own music 4 years later in 2019. So what pushed you to finally start sharing your own original music to the public?
I've always written my own music, but it was only for my own enjoyment. I didn't really care so much about putting it out to the world because I'm very shy. But there was a radio station that I played for in Cebu, and they required that I do at least one original. And I was like, might as well put this one out. So I released my first original. It was called Irises, and I remember it hit like 10K streams after 2 months, and I was so happy about that. So that's where I started, and here I am now.
Congrats! Oh my gosh. So happy that at least that Cebu radio station kind of helped push you talaga out there.
Yep.
Yeah. And in relation to that, actually, like I was watching your videos the other day from when you were on The Voice Kids, and one thing I noticed is that you captured the attention of a lot of the viewers because you had a very powerful voice. You performed Tattooed Heart by Ariana Grande, but then nowadays you're more known for your very smooth R&B sound. So
Yes.
there was kind of a bit of a pivot.
Yes.
So how did you kind of end up finding your current sound?
Yeah, I kind of started out a little, I wouldn't say a Biritera, but
Yeah.
somewhere down that line. I think now I care less about my voice and more about the music.
Yeah.
So I sing the way the music calls. I
okay.
sing the song the way the music calls for it. I don't care so much about showing off.
Yeah.
I sing the way the song needs to be sung.
Okay.
So-
So basically you're kind of not like restricting yourself to sound a certain way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's nice. And of course, you're also from Cebu, as you mentioned a while
Yes.
ago. So what's it like kind of pursuing a career away from home? How does it feel?
I never expected to leave home. When I first came out here to Manila, I thought it would be a quick trip, but that was not a quick trip. That's a 4-year-long trip. But I'm glad that I am in Manila, and because I had to give up a lot of what was going on for me at home.
Yeah.
I'm more driven to make this whole thing work. So yeah.
Very nice. And obviously, like, it's working out well for you. Really love your music.
Thank
And a
you.
lot of people know you as a very established R&B artist here in the Philippines. So we're really excited to see your career take off even more. So, in relation to that, were there any challenges that you kind of had to grapple with from your move to Cebu going here to Manila?
I pictured myself growing old in Cebu. Cebu was my favorite place ever, and I
Yeah.
never really wanted to leave it. But I also knew that the place to be for the goals that I have is Manila. So that's why I'm here. But again, I'm driven to make this work because I had to give that up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, what are the things that you find solace in when kind of things get difficult here, when you're here in Manila and you're missing Cebu?
My friends from Cebu, I would say so. Like, the artist community of Cebuanos in Manila is so strong. We just stick by each other and give each other support. So I draw a lot of strength from them because we understand the struggle
Yeah.
of coming out here to the metro to make it work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I really hope things work out for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the present, you already have a pretty sizable discography. So can you tell us, what does your creative process usually look like? Parang, how does it usually go for you when you're putting a song together?
I usually start with the melodies first, and then the lyrics come naturally.
Okay.
But every time I work with different producers, different creatives, it's always a completely new process.
Yeah.
So that's also something I look forward to when I work with other people.
Okay. So are you still doing poetry? I remember. You know that.
So I guess that's how I started writing
Okay.
from poetry. I can't believe you uncovered my past.
Oh my gosh,
but,
I'm sorry.
I'm not proud of it. But that's where I started.
Yeah.
I started with poetry, very, very bad poetry. But I think that was formative of
Yeah.
the artist that I became.
Yeah, of
because
course.
it ties into what I'm doing now, which is songwriting. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I still do poetry, but musically now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it got you here. And I feel like because you cringe at how it was before, it means that you've gotten a lot better.
I would like to say so.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of your creative process, like what are the kinds of stories that you like to tell most through your music?
I like to talk about coming of age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of my biggest songs it's called Halfway There, and it's a coming of age song. It's about feeling like you're at a halfway point
Yeah.
where you don't know if the glass is half empty or half full. I also talk about love, even though I don't know a lot about it. But it's just, I love love, and it's
Yeah.
the best thing to write about. So, yeah, love and coming of age.
Okay. So we're looking forward to seeing more of those two themes.
Yes.
And of course, since it's already been 5 years since you officially started releasing music in 2019, do you think anything's changed with the way you do your music from when you were just starting out compared to now?
I think now I just create with more confidence.
Okay.
Because back then I really didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I know a little more, I'd say. Yeah, I just write with more confidence now, and I'm also backed by an amazing team at Careless, so yeah, I'd say that's the only difference.
Yeah. And speaking of Careless, you signed with them when you were 17.
Yes, I
You're
did.
very young back then. So
Back
what
then.
is it like? Parang how did it kind of shape your artistry that it is today?
Well, they believed in me so hard that I learned how to believe in myself too.
Yeah.
And creatively, they always try to push me. I think the biggest difference is now I can work with other creatives.
Ooh, okay.
Back then, I was like a one-man team. It was just me and my producer, and I couldn't even record in front of anybody. But now I can spin out demos in front of other producers with other people in the room. Yeah, and I feel like with Careless too, they don't only care about. It's not just a numbers game to them. They genuinely care about growing me as an artist too. So I'm glad.
Oh, that's really nice to hear.
Yes.
I can really see that you've, with that everybody's witnessed a lot of your growth
Mm-mm.
lately, like from the Jolianne, from the Voice Kids up to the one now. So very happy about that.
Yeah.
And of course, in June, you also just released your single titled "I'll Be Somebody You Want." Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
So can you share the story behind the song? What was it like putting it together?
Yes. I think I wrote this song in Cebu
Okay.
during the holiday season because up until now I feel like my best songs are the ones that I've written in my childhood bedroom. So I wrote this back in Cebu, and it's half inspired by my delusion and half inspired by true events. The part that is true is the part where I'm like pining over someone, and the part that is delusional is where this person ends up liking me back. So there's that. Yeah, that's how it came to be.
Very interesting. So in the song, you kind of get real about your relationship with, you said, the person that you're pining over.
Yes.
In the sense that you kind of open up about how in loving someone, the bad will also come with the good.
Yes.
So why is it important for you to showcase vulnerability in your craft?
I think people just want to see you. People want to see the artist behind the art. They want to see the human behind the artist. So I don't shy away from writing about the difficult things that I go through. Actually, that's what I love writing the most because that's what I love listening to the most. So.
And of course, it's always nice to see people connecting with the things that you write about, especially if you kind of essentially struggling together.
Yes.
And then the thing that bonds you guys is your art. So it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of curious, is vulnerability something that you've always been open about in your craft, or was it something that you struggled with before?
I don't shy away from writing about it, but I think I was always, I guess that's the reason why it took me so long to release my music, because I did not want to show that part of myself. But once you start, it kind of just keeps going. You just need to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, yun nga, a lot of people will resonate with your music. So that's the good thing about it.
Yeah.
And going back to I'll Be Somebody You Want, it's kind of reminiscent of the early Jolianne. So when you were working on the song, like writing the lyrics and then coming up with a melody, was that something that you were consciously going for? Like for the song to sound close to how you did in your early days?
Yes, actually. So I think, well, the past 3 years with Careless especially, I've tried out so many different genres and styles, but only for me to find out that the sound that is truest to me is the one I started with. So I've zoned in on that, especially for the next coming releases. And I'll Be Somebody You Want is a good start for that.
Yeah.
So it is my old sound, just a little elevated.
Yeah, so it's kind of going back to your roots in a way.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And speaking of, you'll be leaving us with a performance of I'll Be Somebody You Want.
I will.
Yes. So thank you again for being here and for letting us in on your music career.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, really happy to have been able to learn more about you and about like your music career talaga from the start and up to now. Very cool. Yeah, okay. So thank you for tuning in to Rappler Talk Entertainment. Once again, I'm your host, Juno Reyes. If you'd like to stay updated on the latest happenings in music and pop culture, you can head over to the Pop Culture channel on the Rappler Communities app, which is available on web, iOS, and Android. But for now, we'll be leaving you guys with a very special performance by Jolianne. So without further ado, here's Jolianne with I'll Be Somebody You Want.
You so proud.